Okay, this is my portfolio presentation, and on the cover here, I have my name, Pamela Hutchinson Richardson, and I just named it my early childhood 2023. Okay, so as I get started on my portfolio, this is my first page, and this is a picture of me and my information. That is my name and my address and the title of this portfolio. Let me see, make sure y'all can see it. Okay, I'm gonna turn the page. And on the back of that, I just have a little information about myself. I'm currently an employee at Burnham Independent School District. I am an ISS instructor, and I've been there for 8 years. I worked at Burnham Supported Living Center for 20 years, and I also have an associate's degree in sociology from Glenn College. So that's a little bit about myself. And here I have some of the courses that I've taken that pertains to early childhood right here in my portfolio. And just to name a few of those, I have educating young children in child psychology and lifespan and growth and development. And I started with those back in 2017. Okay, as I flip the page, I have my transcript. Here's a copy of my transcript. And here's a copy of I just put a copy of my agreements in here with my daycare and my daycares that I did and confidentiality agreements. And here I just have my another affidavit that we had to get notarized and stuff at the beginning of the semester. And right here I have my certificates, my orientation certificate from Glenn College, and right here I have a copy of my degree from Glenn College in here. And another course was a course that we needed, which I got a certificate from the Department of Protect Family and Protective Services from another class. All right, so let's go to Standard 1. In Standard 1, well, no, this is my philosophy. And my philosophy is learning is good for the soul. And learning is good for the soul. And I say that because everybody can learn. Doesn't matter what age group you're in, everybody can learn. And learning is good for the soul because it takes us to different avenues and increases what we can learn and what we can do on a daily basis. So that's my little philosophy. Learning is good for the soul. Okay, now we're going to start with Standard 1. And my standard one is to establish and maintain safe and healthy learning environment. The functional area is safe, healthy learning environment for the kids. And right here, from my tech class, from another class, I used the standard 1, and we had to do the safe and healthy learning environment. And so the artifacts, I'm going to talk about the artifacts in standard 1 that I used. I put the resources, of course, resources of how to communicate with family, different resources in your town. This could be immunizations and different stuff like that that are offered to families with school-age children. Okay, I also put in this standard for my artifacts. I put the portfolio assignment 3, which we had to do an accident report form. And so I made this accident report form, and this is another thing that I felt like should go under standard 1 with in safety. Because if there's any kind of accident, we always want to keep that. We always want to keep a form that we can fill out. Another thing on the safety, I put the plan, the emergency plan, and this is an artifact that I think that we all should have. We should all have it in our classrooms, and sometimes I think that we should even have a safety plan at home. Even if we don't have it on the wall, we should talk to our children about safety at home as well. But this is an artifact that I put in there that I'll definitely have in my classroom and I'll definitely use. Health. I use this Purcell wipe label to show healthy environment. The kids can thrive better in a healthy and clean environment. And this is just something that I would use to, maybe wipe down tables or chairs or something like that in the classroom to help maintain a safety environment. Healthy. I put pictures of garden because this artifact is something that I would want to do with my class to maintain a healthy. I think healthy probably falls up under eating. And so I put this artifact in here because I felt like that the kids needed to learn and recognize what some of the healthy foods are. And so if you do a garden, kids will be able to see hands-on how things are planted and how they grow. And so I put this again in here for health reasons. Maintain a healthy lifestyle. And the school bus. I put my school bus in here just because healthy environment is safety. Sometimes parents need a safe way to get their children to school. Sometimes parents don't always have dependable transportation. So I put this under safety because I felt like that I would introduce this as a safety measure for transportation for school. Healthy. Again, healthy snacks. This artifact, I put this in here to give children a chance on healthy snacks and healthy food. And there you see a picture of a tray. And I got fruit and bananas and the goldfish. It's one of my favorites, and I think it's one of the kids' favorites. That would help maintain a healthy lifestyle to eat. And so, of course, I would have healthy picture cards. I would have healthy picture cards and flashcards. And what we would do with this would be we would I would print out the flashcards and we could do a group game, and that would be name the picture, if it's a fruit, if it's a vegetable, or if it's good or if it's bad for you. We'll have that on there too, so we'll be able to label those. And this is another artifact, a game that I would definitely put and keep in my room. Okay, let's go to standard 2. And I forgot to put that in there. But on standard 2, competency, on standard 2, to provide physical and intellectual, and physical, and we're going to create cognitive and communication creativity. And on standard 2, in this area, I would encourage creativity from each individual child, because we have to realize that each individual child is different, and we should meet each individual child's needs. We should not meet, if you have 20 kids, it does not mean that you can't teach the same curriculum to 20 kids. But what it does mean is all 20 kids may not learn the same. So we want to keep in mind of creativity and let kids create, also create an environment that we can adapt to also. So this creativity will include giving children the supplies needed to create things like drawing and gluing and painting. I will use emoji stories where children are given a picture of different emojis, and I will ask for words that are related to the story. And I will write the story on the whiteboard. So I want to give you a little bit about these artifacts in competency 2, standard 2. And in standard 2, when I thought about standard 2 and the creativity and the communication and stuff, and I thought about cognitive skills. And what do cognitive skills do? What they do is they they help with paying attention and processing and remembering and analyzing and stuff. All the things, some of the things that kids need when they grow up, you know, as they get older. And it's our responsibility to teach them that. And here's a little poster that I would use, creativity, and it's very colorful, you know. And so again, and supplies. We need to make sure that we help children with supplies, because how can kids create if they don't have supplies? So I put that in there. I put I put that under creativity, because these are things that children would need to create things. And again, I talk about supplies, and some of those supplies are colors and glue and scissors and stuff that we want to provide for children. And again, dreams, big dreams. This helps with creativity and physical, and help kids. This will also help kids express themselves, and we want kids to express themselves. And here is the emoji story that I was talking about, and I found this, and I love this idea. And what it is, it's a little emoji story. And so you look at the little emojis and you let the kids, hey, let's pick an emoji, and what emoji do you want to talk about? And some kids may pick the birthday cake, and they may say how they celebrated their birthday. And some kids may pick the school bus and the bell and different things such as that, and the lollipop. And so what I would do is I would use this and let kids tell me ideas, and we would make a story into these emojis. And that's part of creativity and communication. And it would give kids a chance to analyze and put these pictures together with words to create a story. And this is communication, and it gives cognitive, again, it gives the kids a chance to think and show character and, problem solve. And creativity is showing what's your favorite time of the day. They could draw a picture. Sometimes the favorite time of the day is going home on the school bus. Sometimes the favorite time of the day may be getting up in the morning, coming to school. So this is another part of creativity. And this is a standard that I used. This is a ELE. This is a field experience that I used, and I use this, and you see I have it highlighted. And I use this because when I arrived at the daycare, they were reading a book. The teacher was reading a book, and they were doing group time. And I thought that this was good because it fell upon them for social competence, and it allows the children to build relationships and like play cooperatively and take turns and stuff. When she was reading that book, and she went back and she asked questions about the book. And again, I say this was group time, and I felt like this was good to go under this standard because of the communication. And it also brought out some creativity in some of the words and stuff that they use for feedback. Let's go to standard 3. And standard 3 is, what do we have here? We have the self-social guidance. And for the self-social guidance under this standard, standard 3, and I put children can draw their own faces, and because we're talking about self here, and we celebrate them personally. We get more into self, and we start talking about emotional well-being and things like that. So let's go ahead and look at the artifacts that I chose for this. And the artifacts is definitely for social. I chose play. And these are a couple of pictures that I took at the daycare that I observed it. And I think play was one of the most important It's one of the most important social skills that we can use and that we can introduce to children, because it gives them a chance to learn social skills and things like that, and play with each other, and it just helps for the well-being of the child. And this is the All About Me. This is a artifact that I would definitely use in my classroom. Here you can see I just got a plain face, and then the child will be able to draw their face and their hair and stuff. And this goes back to self, you know, how they see themselves. And I don't have it in here, but I would have All About Me, which would say, you know, like the birthday and things like that. And this is one that I like, the artifact that I put in here about emotional. A lot of kids, well, some kids have a problem with sharing how they emotionally feel. Some kids can't explain it. Some kids can show it, but they don't actually know the words. And some kids, you know, they can't relate like they're supposed to. So on an emotional level. So what I did was I got this, and this is just a little sheet, and it shows different signs of emotion. You know, are you mad? Are you sad? Are you happy? Are you upset? Are you angry? Are you sick? You know, and I thought this was very interesting because, again, some kids cannot communicate like other kids, and some kids need a visual. So this would be my visual for communication of how some of the kids are feeling emotionally. And this is another thing that I would do, and this was you know, how are you feeling? And that's another thing that I would talk about. And extracurricular. Again, extracurricular and play and stuff all falls under the enhancement of social skills. And parents, you know, a lot of parents start kids out with extracurricular activities early, like soccer and t-ball and stuff like that. And I would definitely promote that, because extracurricular activities actually help with discipline and different things like that. And it enhances the physical health and physical fitness is what it can do. Now, I also used one of my EL6s on this. And what they did was the children, and at this time they were going to the bathroom and doing a sing-along video, and the lesson included the whole class, and they had to remain in their own square. So this was like a little self-awareness too, to see if the kids, you know, if they was, and I was watching if the kids could follow directions and stuff. And so this is just a little thing that I used too. I put in my was EL6. Let's go to the next standard. The next standard is function area is families. And we have to know families are very, very important. Families are important because that's part of our communication and connection with the child that we are teaching. So we have to know that families are very, very important, and communicating with them. And this is just a little snippet of what I wrote. And this standard will enhance the teacher and families. And this will give you, and what I got in here is different artifacts about networking and activities and things like that that I will share with family. And some of them I wanted to mention, go back to standard 1. And standard 1 was like safety and stuff like that. And like I was saying, like introduce like a safety transportation for us, the buses and stuff. But on this standard 4, communication. And I feel like communication is very, very important with the families. And you see the teacher here and a parent. And it's very, very important. Communication should always stay open between the teacher and the families. And I have this little thing right here. This is an after school flyer. And I put this in here even though we would have probably preschool kids. A lot of families have children have, preschool children have older siblings and stuff. Parents have a hard time finding after school care for the other siblings. And this is another thing that keeps the communication and family process going. So I would definitely introduce this. This would be something that I would introduce to the families. And here, I just got one of my students drew this for me one day, and I just love this little thing. And it's a family, it's the Simpsons. And so I just loved it, and I thought that I would share that under families. And here you have the picture package. You know, you would definitely want to set up the memories and maybe keep a scrapbook at the beginning of the year of the child. And this would be an absent folder in case the child was absent. And if it was any important things or any work that the child needed to do, I would definitely have a folder for that. And in that folder, and this is a communication envelope. And that little envelope would just be for communication. If something needed to go home, papers that need to go home and be signed by a family member or parent. And this is a connection networking thing. And I just use this. We need to let parents know how to stay connected with the districts that we work in. It may not be a district that you work in, it may be a daycare, but this is also a wonderful tool for daycare. And here you just have different things that, different ways that parents can communicate with the school or with your daycare. And we have Facebook and Twitter and all that good stuff online of how parents can stay connected with school. This is something that I love too, and I'm actually involved in this, and I would definitely use this in my own daycare, my own preschool classroom. And this is Brenham Game Changers, and they give out scholarships to help families out for children that are not privileged enough to play sports. And so if you need help with tuition for sports and cheer and stuff like that, no matter what the age is, as long as the child is age appropriate enough to play that sport or in cheer, this is what this is. And they help with tuitions for extracurricular activities. And I think I love that. All right, now let's go to 5. And 5 is the area of program management. And program management is kind of like what you would do in your own classroom, how you would manage your own classroom. And so on Standard 5, on this conversation, we will help with the structure of my classroom. And I just named the artifacts that I would use. And let's go and talk about my artifacts and why I would use them. This artifact is just me saying a warm atmosphere. And that means inviting. That means calm, not loud, a nice voice. Children need to know that they're safe. And I know that we as adults, that's part of our responsibility. Children need positive routines. I think doing a monthly calendar and having a daily schedule will help with this, with the monthly routine, positive routines, positive tones. I was talking about tones and children don't need to be yelled at and stuff like that, and simple words. We don't want to use big words with preschool children that don't understand. That would just cause behaviors and stuff like that. So we kind of need to use simple words. This artifact is a thing that little teaching tool that I would go by. Let me show you that. And it would show me, I would probably do this at the end of every month. And some of the things on here that I would probably test and do would be like identify colors and count objects and stuff like that. And so these are some of the things that we can do, and we can see where the markers are with children and how far they progressed, if they regressed, and different things like that. But I thought this was a good little tool that would help preschool children get ready for kindergarten, or kindergarten children get ready for the first grade. And this right here would be just some of the rules that I would have, that we would go, nice words. Excuse me, thank you, and please. And, those are nice, kind things that we would say in class. And this would be another artifact. This would be another tool that I would use. And of course, I would have a daily schedule. I would have a daily schedule, and I would definitely have it visual. In here, you can see, bathroom and breakfast. And, well, let's start it because I'm backwards. School and breakfast and toilet, and then group time and lunch and recess and different sleep and different stuff like that. So this would just be a visual tool of the daily schedule that I would have up, and on the back of it you just see daily schedule. And this would be another communication, the daily behavior. This is a tool that I would use. We used to get the stars, and we could keep a track and see if the children, how they would behave. In case we start running into some problems, you can always go back on this and look. And again, this is another communication tool that you would use between the teacher and the parent. And this is a monthly schedule. I would make one of these out every month, and this would be designed for communication with the families too. I would do this maybe to put birthdays on, a reminder for field trips, and if school let out early, and different holidays such as that. So I would give one of those out every month. And in this, I used about how the teacher I was observing and how the teacher reminded a student about a bad choice that they had made the week before. And I didn't say anything, but I didn't agree with it, because I felt like that the child had already been reprimanded the week before, and I don't feel like it had anything to do with what they were doing. But I put this in there because of nice words and things like that, and routine, because I don't think that it was part of the routine. That wasn't part of the routine that they were doing. I think that last week should have stayed in last week, and then kids should always be able to start off brand new like we do. So that's another one that I used. And our last area is competency 6, standard 6. And this is talking about professionalism. And this standard is basically solely about us being professional as adults, as teachers, and sometimes us as parents as well. And I use for standard 6 that teachers should always know that they plant a seed with children. Professionalism from teachers should be shown with love, empathy, and professionalism. Different ways teachers should always show professionalism is showing children love and meaning and maintaining good listening skills between children and families. Teachers should always dress properly and professionally for their position. Teachers should be open to suggestions and interact with other teachers. And that's what we call collaboration. Professionalism, you have to collaborate. You have to collaborate with other people, other teachers. You might have to collaborate with social workers. You might have to collaborate with principals. You might have to collaborate with people in an IEP meeting or something like that. So we should always, as teachers, we should always show professionalism. And how can we do that? The first thing is we can always do that by showing love. We can always do that by showing respect to the children. We can do that by caring, showing that we care, and showing empathy. And I mentioned dress. We should always dress for a professional, for our profession. And another thing is with professionalism, we should always keep up with our classes and where we need to be with common knowledge and the different standards that are changing with the school districts, and even with our in daycare. And last but not least, I put in here this little thing that I love, and it says, teachers plant seeds that grow forever. And I like that because sometimes teachers don't realize that they are sometimes the only people that show kids love and empathy and how much they care and stuff. And so one of my things was that I wrote was children are such curious and smart individuals. They depend on us to lead them and guide them. Children learn from reading adults. And so children imitate the example of a teacher by being authoritative. And I did this, I put this in here because one day when I was observing and they were playing, some of the students were playing school. And of course, when they said, which one did you want to be? Which one? All of them wanted to be the teacher. Nobody wanted to be the student. And so I want to talk a little bit about my reflection. My reflection is that I love this class. I like doing the portfolio. It was very interesting, and it kind of makes you wonder. And I just like watching the kids. But when I thought about reflection, the first thing that came to mind was a couple of lines off the Whitney Houston song, and she sang the song, "The children are our future. Teach them well, and show them and let them see the way." And so show them all the beauty they possess inside. And that hit home because that's what we should be doing as teachers, as caregivers, as role models, and as parents.